tonight, not just who's going to take them, is going to determine what happens here tonight.
Lee Cassell, A.J. Desai, Justin Porterfield are your officials, and the opening tip-off smack deep into the backcourt. And it will be Georgia basketball as Justin Porterfield overrules himself. It'll be Bulldogs ball 4 seconds in.
He wouldn't let anybody else overrule him, I know that for sure.
So this is a Georgia team coming off a 42-point win over Tennessee Tech on Saturday. They jumped out 11-0 in that game. Florida State was down 11-0 against Texas A&M. First shot for Jordan Ross won't go, and here come the Seminoles. Leger Jones. Officials looking at each other, white ball. Florida State keeps it.
And both teams, that's what they're going to do. They're going to take threes, and when they don't go in, it's just not that much fun to watch. And it's not that much fun to coach that. But they're not going to be deterred. They're going to keep doing it.
Well, Coach Luke Laux was honest when we asked him how does he feel about the shot quality of threes that they've been getting. He said it hadn't been very good, and he used other words than that.
Yeah.
Chauncey Wiggins finds the range.
When they go in, it's great. Everybody's happy. But, you know, you got to get good ones. That was a good one.
Well, they did that off the pass. They passed it into Steen, and he was able to get the ball reversed, and they got a wide open.
Jeremiah Wilkinson unable to answer. Good block out by Steen. Rebound for Wiggins. Rob McCray, the fifth, on the drive, rejected by Santo. Surreal. Georgia leads the nation in block shots.
That's what they do. You can't just drive in there and do that. They're going to block it.
Well, what you have to do is you've got to know they're coming to block the shot and find the open man. But McCray is the guy, of all these players on the Florida State team, when he drives, it appears to me he's looking to score.
Yeah, and he can pass. He's got a lot of assists this year.
One of the top assist guys in the country.
Boeheim was open, but Steen cut him off.
He got it. I wasn't quick enough.
So McCray gets it to Steen, the D2 transfer from Florida Southern. Jones has it poked away. You know, both these teams are in the top 10 in the nation in steals.
Well, and one thing that you can see when they throw the ball into Steen in the high post, Georgia's backing way off.
That's what you don't want to get your three-point shot blocked.
2 blocks already for Georgia, but there's the steal for FSU on the floor to scoop it up, Kobe McGee. Jones scoops it for Steen. Surreal standing tall. Contested 3 won't fall for McCray, and it's Blue Kane who throws another pass toward Bonner this time. Picked off by Wilkinson, and he goes to the basket.
They really get out and go, and Wilkinson is a guy who is very effective in transition.
Hope you guys keep your hands ready, because a bunch of loose balls are coming your way.
If I got my hands ready, it wouldn't make any difference. I'd still get hit in the nose.
Come on, Dan.
Both of us.
McGee off the catch. Rebound deflected to the Georgia bench. It'll be Bulldog basketball.
Well, they pitch it out, and Wilkinson is a guy who just goes. You see, he's 1-on-4, but he is undeterred. He really likes to score in transition by driving it to the basket.
Both these teams play with freedom. Freedom to go ahead and take their shots. And, you know, when they start making some, which I think they're going to, it just takes some time. A whole new team, whole new system.
Kane, nice move.
Kane shoots over 60% from two-point range.
So does this entire Georgia team. They're top 10 in the nation in that, too. Wiggins didn't really look determined to finish there. Wilkinson the other way, counted in the foul.
Wiggins made a mistake. He had an open 3, and he passed it up, got his shot bothered, and then he loses the ball, and as a result, you get a run out. You cannot do that Your offense has to be efficient to prevent Georgia from getting those opportunities to go.
And that's how they score, when they get out and run. And the same with Florida State. When they can get out and run, that's when they're most effective. And either team struggles in the half court.
Smurf Millender and Justin Bailey, first subs in the game for Mike White, the fourth-year coach, who really plays his bench, Jim. They go very deep.
Everybody
for this
plays.
Squad.
I would be nervous coaching this team.
You think you'd forget about
Well,
some
I wouldn't
people
even.
in?
I can't remember past 7 or 8. So no, not 12.
Steen looking to pass. Wiggins, another contested jumper. And it's out of bounds, last touch by McGee.
Steen is not going to shoot that long jump shot, and Georgia knows that, and they're playing off.
Bulldogs have scored 7 straight points, and they're looking for more. They scored 60 in both halves of their last game. I'm surprised. I didn't think we'd see single digits in the shot clock all night. Oh, Surreal with an ambitious follow, and he got fouled. Florida State needs to put a body on him.
And if you're Florida State and you have them in a half-court set, when you've been able to set your defense doesn't stop until you have the ball, and nobody blocked out Surreal.
They got pounded on the boards by Texas A&M. Really took it to them, and it was the first game that just shocked them. And you know, that's the kind of game you learn from, and you say, okay, we're not letting that happen again, or you don't. And they look like they have learned a little bit. Practice today, they were really right on. Coach had them doing the right things, talking about the right things, but you've got to be physical against this Georgia team.
We hear coaches often say, you know, tonight was bad, we can't let it affect us for the next game. How realistic is that?
Well, that's what you say, and that's how you go and you work in practice. And the coach said they had 2 good days of practice, and the players were talking that way. They were talking about how they know they can't do that. So I think that's all great.
They play 11 guys. Georgia does double-figure minutes, and you can see why. They're trying to get up and down, and they just keep running guys in. Number 25, Absent, who just came in the game, he's every bit as good a shot blocker as Surreal, who they just took out.
Yes, indeed.
I don't remember a team that plays 12 guys, Dean. I mean, I've coached a long time and been around a long time, probably too long. But I've never seen a team play 12 guys and guys playing double-figure minutes.
Basong into the game, finds Wiggins in the corner. Offensive rebound for the Frenchman, Thomas Basong. It's been a while since Florida State's made a shot. They're 0 for their last 7. Scoring drought nearing 4 minutes. And it continues on the Basong miss.
But that's the kind of shot they want to get, and Basong is one of their better three-point shooters percentage-wise.
Offensive rebound battle. It's a tie-up. It'll be Florida State ball on the arrow as Basong fighting hard.
We've seen all 3 of those facets of their game. They're 0 for 4 from 3 so far. And Florida State, yes, they've taken 8 threes, but they've only made 1.
There has to be another way to score. You cannot win shooting threes unless you're a 35 to 40% three-point shooting team. And they don't appear to be able to shoot at that percentage.
2 teams that combine 1 for 12 beyond the arc so far. We'll see if that changes here. Well, it did change, but not for the better.
Somerville's their best percentage three-point shooter.
Well, Georgia has the ability to score some inside, which so far Florida State has not shown.
Tough contested jumper from the corner, won't go for Bailey. And it'll be Florida State ball. ACC and SEC both getting 2 wins so far.
Virginia Tech's win was in overtime.
Yeah, they finished off South Carolina 86-83 in OT.
And can I say that the Orange won a monster game tonight? That was a turning point. Without their best player, to beat Tennessee is a kind of a season turn around
For the
even
team.
though it's early.
And the conference.
Everybody benefits from that. And Virginia Tech winning on the road, that's huge.
So this is a Florida State team that played Florida really tough, and everybody was encouraged about year one with Luke Laux. And they go up to Tampa, Luke's hometown, Clearwater, right nearby, and they get embarrassed this past Friday by Texas A&M. He has liked the way his team has responded in practice since. They had good spirit, energy, and shoot around today. Dan, is it as simple as, are the shots going in, or are they not going in, or is it about getting the right shots?
Well, obviously it's about getting the right shots. Your shooting percentage is much higher when you're taking good shots, but there's no question the game's a whole lot easier when the ball goes in the basket. And that's a nice job by McCray to get to the free throw line. Jim was just saying that you need to score in other ways except the three-point shot, and one of the ways you can score is to get to the line.
Full court pressure here from Florida State. Georgia plays 11 guys, double-digit minutes, and turns it over there. A little contact, but we play through it. Luke Laux, an ACC champion 13 years ago. Part of Leonard Hamilton's 2012 title team. Leonard's in the building tonight. We saw him earlier today as well.
A lot of Florida State's offense is built on beating your guy off the dribble. And if you can't beat your guy off the dribble, then the offense is going to struggle.
McCray to the corner for Wiggins.
That's what they want to do. Force the defense into the lane and then kick it out for a three.
Nice job defending the rim by Muhammad.
But when you miss threes, you allow your opponent to get out and go.
Seminoles 1 for 12. They've missed their last 10 shots. That's a high percentage look, though, for Muhammad.
They can make that one, I know.
Georgia, oh, that was deflected in. They're going to call it a goaltend, doesn't matter.
The one thing Georgia's doing, Mike White talked about today, they're multiple defenses. Different full court press, different traps at half court, some zone defense. So they're mixing things up, and that takes a little bit of time to get your team ready for that. And in his loss, they made 2 mistakes in their trapping defense and then enabled Clemson to get 2 open shots to win the game.
That overtime loss for Georgia, their only setback so far this season. That was in Charleston. On the drive, Jones can't convert. Ross, who scored the last 2, triggers the break. This is Wilkinson. Santos surreal. He's tough. The D2 transfer, Steen, misfires, gets his own miss, kicks it out for Jones. Steen, another chance, missed again. Another rebound. Seminoles cannot buy a bucket.
Boy, it's tough to play and coach this game when you can't put the ball in the basket. I mean, they're getting effort. They're getting tremendous effort from everybody. Steen goes and gets 2 really tough rebounds, gets open shots. Ball's not going in the basket. It'll change. It'll change. They'll get some. They'll get going.
How do you assure that the defensive intensity remains what it needs to be when you're not making shots?
Well, you're trying to tell them, look, if we're not making, we got to play even better defense. We've got to stop them more now because we're not making things.
2 teams that combined 1 of 16 from beyond the arc. Catching, rattles it home.
Wow.
That was one of the harder threes that they've tried, and it went in.
Largest lead so far, Bulldogs up 9.
And that's from a 25% three-point shooter.
Feels like an important early possession here for Florida State. Steen tries to go past Surreal and he gets fouled.
That's what you have to do when you're not making shots. Try to get the basket, try to get fouled. You just can't keep shooting threes.
Well, they've been having a hard time getting open threes because the Georgia defense has been really effective pressuring the ball.
The one thing when you play 11 or 12 guys, you're going to have fresh guys out there, and they can pressure the whole time. You're playing 7 or 8, guys are going to get tired. In the second half especially, it's hard to pressure, but they can pressure the whole game.
There are some undeniable similarities between Texas A&M and Georgia in terms of their depth and their pace. And Florida State was humbled in a big way up in Tampa on Friday. Oh my, look out! Cannon Catchings throws it down. That's what Georgia does.
Well, they got the ball up the court quickly, and that's why they got the dunk. Florida State has to be able to set its defense. And to do that, you have to be able to make shots.
They've made 12% of their shots so far, 2 out of 17. Jones on the drive, challenging Surreal. Steen, another offensive board, and he pays it off this time.
I'll tell you what, he gives you every effort. He gives you everything he's got, and that's always good to see.
Georgia down the floor, scores with 26 on the shot clock.
Well, you can't relax just because you've scored a basket because they're coming right after you.
Jeremiah Wilkinson getting out in transition, and Cannon Catchings finally breaks the seal from deep. Georgia for there. I feel like it's not that big of a deal, but it's not ideal either.
Well, anybody who ever played in Pitt's old Fitzgerald Fieldhouse knows that that's no big issue at all.
They didn't hit. That would be a good board in Fitzgerald. That would be a really good board.
It's a byproduct when you have the parquet. You have those idiosyncrasies in the floor and the way it bounces. I've heard stories of the old Boston Garden.
Oh, yeah, we played there.
True stories?
Oh, yeah, all the way.
Steal for Cam Miles. Lays it off. And a missed layup for McGee.
He was worried about Catchings coming to block the shot.
Kane on the drive, misdirected by Jones. Somerville leads the break the other way. This is the type of pace we were expecting tonight.
Yeah, and it's one thing to run up and down, but if you're McGee, he's one of their top three-point shooters, you have to run to a spot and be ready to shoot. He caught that ball and he didn't have his feet set.
They're just fortunate to be in this game, shooting 1 for 100 or close to it right now. But Georgia's not shooting it great either, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, but you saw there, both of those teams really like to get up and down, and that's what they've done so far tonight.
They can do that. Unfortunately, Dan, they don't give you points for getting up and down in this game.
That's true.
Leger Jones too strong off the window. Tip from Wiggins would not go.
Again, they're taking it in there, trying to do these fancy shots, I think because they're worried about getting their shots blocked.
That's what they're worried about.
Kane throws it up, and Stagg throws it down. Kareem Stagg, the freshman from Chesapeake, and a steal. Smurf Millender lays it in, and Florida State just threw it away again, but it was deflected this time.
This is a real problem that Florida State had against Texas A&M turning the ball over. And here, their Kane penetrates, but he's not looking to kick it out to shoot a three. He penetrates, he's throwing it up in the air for a dunk.
They're in pressure every time. Make or miss, they're getting up, and you just make a couple mistakes and you give up a couple baskets, and they can't afford that because they're not scoring enough.
Tough drive from Rob McCray, the fifth, he flips it in.
Well, he can get in the lane, and that time there were no shot blockers back there, and he recognized that and was able to score.
Bulldogs are 9 of 11 from 2 so far in this first half. And now they're 1 for 8 from 3.
It's really simple. Florida State needs to back off and let them shoot threes.
Chauncey Wiggins,
There
big
we
shot.
go. He got the other one, didn't he? Yes.
That's his second, and Florida State's second, 12 attempts.
It just takes one more and you're back in the game as bad as you've really shot the ball tonight.
Both these teams do a nice job getting hands in passing lanes. They're both in the top 10 in the nation in steals. Florida State, over 50% of their attempts are threes. They're attempting the most threes per game of anybody in the nation.
54% is a lot of your high percentage of your shots from beyond the arc.
And when you're not making many of them, it's not good.
Moving screen on Bailey.
And again, when they can make Georgia just slow down for a minute by setting their defense, good things have happened.
Yeah, if they can get back and take away the layups, Georgia's having trouble scoring too. So get back, take away the layup, make them shoot the three. Let them. They're going to shoot threes. They want to shoot threes too. Let them shoot them. They're not making them.
Fakes it, takes it, makes it. LeJay Jones for three.
That time he worked his way into a real good look.
That's a tough shot though. You fake, you reset again. Lots of times you see a guy miss that one.
Yeah, you're right. But for them, that was a pretty good one.
Out of bounds, last touch by Florida State. 8 straight points for the Seminoles after this bucket.
That's a really good fake right there. The guy flies by, but he takes his time. Yeah. Lots of guys, they just hurry after that. You don't need to hurry. The guy just flew by you.
He didn't rush it. He got a good shot.
Tough pull-up jumper comes up short for Catchings. Chance for Florida State to further carve into the deficit.
Wow, that is really a tough shot.
Well, he was not in position.
No.
He needed to be 2 steps closer to the line.
He was out past the NBA line if there was one here.
Now, you don't get extra be shooting from out there.
Under 8 minutes in the first half, Millender got Wiggins off his feet, kick to the corner, and Jake Wilkins, that's Dominique's son, knocks down the triple.
Pretty good family history there.
He's had some spectacular SportsCenter top 10 caliber dunks this season.
But not with threes. He's only a 17% three-point shooter.
He comes up with a steal. Smurf Millender rise and fire. And a foul against Florida State on the rebound action. We'll get ourselves a timeout. 7:28 to play in the first half. 2-2 so far. Victories for Syracuse over Tennessee. Big win for the Orange. Virginia Tech winning on the road in overtime in Columbia against the South Carolina Gamecocks. Here, Georgia's led by as many as 13. Florida State continuing to fight. Shot clock winding down. One of the longest possessions of the entire Georgia season ends in a foul that'll continue things. Shot clock resets to 20.
A little bit of a bailout call there, but they had nowhere to go.
Number 2 on Basong. Millender, exceptionally quick. Dylan James bouncing the dribble with 7. This is Wilkins. Tough take going past Jake Wilkins.
A lot of contact and a really tough bucket.
They call him Baby Highlight.
Huh.
That was kind of under the rim, but still a really nice play.
That's just too long.
You don't like that shot?
No, it's too long. And Wilkins, I mean, he puts the ball down and he goes to the basket. You got to get in front of him, but he does a nice job keeping McCray on his side and uses his body to protect the ball. I mean, that's a heck of a shot.
And gets fouled.
Yeah.
At least once, maybe twice. Not that we're going to talk about the referees tonight. Just
no.
I might mention it once in a while.
First foul on Wiggins. And free throws for Dylan James. He's got family here tonight. He grew up in Winter Haven. Earns the second by making the first.
Well, James is a really good offensive player for them coming off the bench. He's a really solid rebounder, and even though that ball bounced around a little bit, he's an excellent free throw shooter. He's now 10 for 12 on the season.
Earlier this year, Mike White said that Dylan James is as consistent as anyone I've ever coached.
Well, that's
high praise.
That's high praise.
See, part of the problem Florida State is having against this Georgia defense is they're dribbling against the defense for a whole 94 feet. There aren't any outlet passes to make it a little easier.
And 7 straight points for Georgia to answer Florida State's 8-0 run. Clock winding down. Somerville in and out at the buzzer, and the rebound for Surreal.
You get in there at the end of the clock, you know the shot blockers are coming, you take a tough shot.
Under 6 minutes to go, first half. These two teams played 2 years ago in the challenge. 3 would not fall for Ross. Florida State had a 17-point lead late second half and then let it slip away. Georgia won it by 2 at the buzzer.
Another shot block there, but he got a piece of them on the way in. But it's hard to get a layup against this Georgia team. They've got different guys back there that can come and get a by.
Florida State's just really struggling trying to create the offensive opportunities that they want to get. And even when they do create them, they're only shooting 3 for 14 from beyond the three-pointer.
Rob McCray has had some big games so far this season. Season high 29 points against Florida. He tied a Florida State record with 17 assists in their season opener against Alcorn State. And they're counting on him to be the quarterback of this offense.
Well, he can make plays, but he's got to be getting to the people that can make shots.
Reach and foul in the backcourt against Somerville. And another 1-and-1 coming up for Georgia.
Well, speaking of fouls, Florida State's only 2 for 6 from the line. When they've been able to draw fouls, they haven't been able to convert.
So 1-and-1 here for the St. Mary's transfer, Jordan Ross.
And this is a really good Georgia free throw shooting team, shooting almost 78% as the team coming into the game.
They're 6 for 7 so far tonight.
They've made 2 threes, but they have enough offense from other sources that they're ahead by 13.
Tough take there. McCray gets 2.
That was a little after the, I think it was accidental, but he took a good shot. But it really was accidental.
They're going to review it.
I don't think that was accidental.
Neither do the fans here at the Tucker Center.
Well, he didn't swing his elbow.
No, he.
It's good to pick up full and try to get something too. Try to create something.
We welcome those of you that may have just flipped over from ESPN. Duke taking down Florida. So the ACC now leads this challenge 3-2. Blue Kane earns free throws here to further anger the locals here in Tallahassee.
Well, he's trying to get some excitement going, but the best way to get the excitement going is to have his team put the ball in the basket.
Yeah.
First foul on Steen. Blue Kane, junior from Knoxville. The highest rated freshman recruit to go to Georgia since a guy named Anthony Edwards.
And this guy is a 96% free throw shooter.
Number 2 in the SEC, top 15 in the nation. And we jinxed him.
We jinxed him.
And the rebound flipped back up and in by Dylan James.
Well, the problem there is Steen was complaining that James had violated and the referees didn't call it and he didn't block him out.
Bad pass intercepted by James. Bulldogs by 14, looking for more. Wilkinson rejected by Steen. Still plenty of time, 16 on the shot clock.
Steen blocked that one from his hip.
Wilkinson going downhill, and that's the second on Steen. He doesn't like it.
Well, that is what Wilkinson does. He is extremely aggressive, and there's no question he gets his arm in there.
Got his arm in there.
But Wilkinson, he is the guy who is looking to attack.
Well, the officials have done a good job. They didn't call something that maybe people thought they should, but then these were fouls down there, and they called them. They didn't let it go.
Wilkinson, a star in the ACC last year with Cal, which is still strange to say. Three-time ACC Rookie of the Week. ACC Sixth Man of the Year for the Cal Bears last season, transferring back home to play for Georgia. McCray nearly had it poked away. Miles, fouled by Ross. Sarcastic cheers from the crowd.
Well, this is when you should drive because they're going to call a foul. You want to drive, make them make a call.
Is that because the last few whistles have gone against them?
100%.
Steen stays with it.
There's another foul.
It's on James.
Boy, Steen's a worker.
I give Steen a lot of credit. He plays hard. He goes after everything. He's limited size-wise, weight-wise against these guys, but he's going after every ball.
Luke Laux did say, I would love to coach a team full of Steens. Miles, in and out, rebound tipped in by Wiggins.
Wiggins is a guy who gives you stuff. You think he can give you more. You always think, well, I thought when he was at Clemson, he could always do more.
Georgia has its third three of the game as Wilkinson connects. And then McCray driving in, creates contact with Wilkinson.
They're going to call that foul now. There was almost no contact that time.
First foul on Wilkinson. His three makes it a 16-point game. FSU shooting 1-1 on the other side.
Times.
These aren't SEC ranks, these are national ranks out of 365 teams. Number one in total points, number one in fast break points and bench points and blocks. They're number 6 in steals, not on the graphic. Top 20 in forced turnovers.
They're still only shooting 30% from the three for the year. When they start making threes, they're going to be in the 90s every game.
Florida State continues to hurt itself by missing free throws. Now 3 for 8 from the line. Tough contested jumper, won't go.
Those are the threes you don't want.
McCray swatted away. Nice play by Justin Absent. Kane swatted by Jones. Florida State trying to make the argument that it was deflected off of Kane, but Lee Cassell not buying it. And the State Georgia ball.
If they want, they can challenge that. I don't think that's a good idea at this point in the game, but
Well, the challenge rule, if you use
he
it,
did challenge it.
yeah, but if you win it, you got one left, but you only got one left, and if you use that one, then you have none at the end of the game. That's one.
So Georgia by 15 keeps the ball. Millender kicks it. Wilkinson sticks it.
You talk about a guy who's ready to shoot every time the ball comes his direction.
He's ready, and he gets a good look, gets a good shot.
How about that answer? Miles with the right hand.
Absam couldn't get to that one. But again, you're taking it inside. That's what you need to do.
You know, we often talk about teams' defense struggling when their offense is not clicking. Florida State's defense isn't clicking, but their offense just continues to go quick. Like right here is an easy 2 for Absam on the nice pass.
And they're driving and they're not trying to kick it out for threes. They're trying to get layups. Absam wasn't ready for that, or that would have been a dunk.
Yeah.
And they're doing a great job pressuring the ball.
McCray playing one-on-one against Kane, no good.
That was tremendous defense.
Again, you can do that when you have 12 guys. They're fresh. They're going in fresh.
11 Bulldogs have played already. 9 of them have already scored. Jump ball is going to be Florida State possession. Beg your pardon, 10 different Bulldogs have already scored in this first half.
Yeah, Absam, number 25, is the only one who hasn't scored, but he's got 3 rebounds and a blocked shot.
They played 11 guys.
And even though they haven't made threes, they've only made 3 in the half.
And that's
They
why
could very easily get to 50 points.
when they start making threes, they're going to score a lot more points.
Scored 123, making program record 21 threes on Saturday against Tennessee Tech.
Look at
Wilkinson,
this.
the steal, the quickness, the transition, 2. Jeremiah Wilkinson, the transfer from Cal, coming home to the Peach State, Powder Springs, Georgia native.
He just out-muscled the Florida State guys for that ball, and then he used his speed to get all the way to the goal.
Bulldogs by 20.
He was a very good player last year, and he's gotten better. Wiggins.
Chauncey Wiggins has 11 for Florida State. He's made 3 threes. The rest of his teammates have just 1 combined. As we tick under a minute to play here in this first half. And a reach-in foul is gonna be 2 shots for Georgia.
Well, Wilkinson just, look at him take off. He just beats everybody down the court. You know, he started behind him and he gets, he just beats him.
He won a lot of Freshman of the Week awards.
He would have been the freshman of the year, except for that guy who played at Duke.
Yeah, that guy at Duke was pretty good.
Con
Yeah,
Knipple.
not bad.
He was good too. Well, he would have been 3rd anyway.
Georgia has been very consistent offensively too. Now their 3-point shooting has been inconsistent.
Yeah.
But this is the 16th half out of the 17 that they've played where they've scored at least 40 points, and they're knocked on the door of 50 in the final minute here.
Yeah. And when they start making threes, it's going to be. But some of their threes were hard. They're not going to make some of those. The ones they made were better looks.
But here they come with pressure again.
The whole game, they're pressuring. They're trying to trap. Different looks.
McCray creating for himself. We'll get to the free throw line again.
You don't get an easy layup in this game. Not against Georgia. There's nothing easy.
Now, and McCray, he got to the basket. He's going to get to the line, but I'm not sure that's the way Florida State can come back in the game. Everybody's standing around watching, and him driving the ball to the basket.
Second foul on Ross. How much of what you've seen in this first half from Luke Laux' team is reminiscent of what happened on Friday in Tampa against Texas A&M?
Well, they haven't been making threes. They're shooting a little too quickly. They can't beat people off the dribble. And so it is a little bit reminiscent. And part of their problem here is when they've gotten to the line, they've shot the free throws very poorly.
McCray's just 4 for 8. Seminoles as a team 4 for 10.
Also, against this Georgia defense, they don't have anybody else that can penetrate, so they really don't have somebody except for him to get to the basket.
Corner jumper won't go, but Surreal, an offensive rebound. He could pull it out and look for the final shot, but why do that when you can posterize Shah Muhammad with 2 hands? My goodness.
That's disheartening.
Disrespectful. McCray to beat the buzzer. Doesn't get the bounce, and Georgia on the road, their first true road game of the season. Up 19 at the half.
But Georgia is shooting 14 for 19, which is 74% from inside the arc. And they've gotten layups, they've gotten dunks, they've driven the ball to the basket. That's where their advantage has been.
They were 7th in the nation in 2-point field goal percentage coming into tonight. According to Ken Palm, that number will likely rise. Georgia looking to add to its lead. Blue Canes put back, third effort goes.
Kane is just everywhere.
Really good player, good passer, good shooter. Georgia's got a really good basketball team. I mean,
McCray to the basket,
block.
denied by Surreal.
And they turn right around, and here they come after that block.
Kane attacks and scores again.
He just senses where the advantages are, and he moves to capitalize.
Largest lead for the Georgia Bulldogs tonight, 23. Wiggins can't cut into it, and a loose ball foul going against Surreal.
Well, you talked about Kane, and he's the guy, I mean, he just contributes in so many different ways. And this, he just sees he's got an advantage there, takes it right to Steen.
Kobe McGee was very quiet in the first half, and he flips that one in.
From on his back on the floor.
His first points of the night. And with 23 on the shot clock, Georgia answers.
And that's what they do. They get down the court, they get in scoring position quickly, and they attack.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs team that's 4th in the nation in adjusted tempo. Of course, Florida State's 9th in that department. McCray answers in a hurry.
Now McCray is basically, he and Wiggins have been the offense.
But it's not going to work for the Seminoles if they just trade makes back and forth the rest of the way. They need to find a way to get some stops at this end.
Georgia's just a really, really good basketball team. They're ahead. They've got better players right now. Coach came in here late, and they just don't have the same talent level. And they're playing hard. They're doing what they can do, but Georgia's got better players right now.
And a lot of them. We've mentioned a couple times they play 11. And everybody who comes in off the bench makes a contribution.
Kobe McGee just picked up his 3rd foul.
I mean, you look at Georgia's guard play is really good. Luke Kane is really good. Wilkins is really good. One of the best players in the league last year at Stanford. And, you know, he's only gotten better from what I see.
I mean, Cal.
I think
You said Stanford.
they're close, aren't they? Close down there?
They are, but they don't like each other.
No, I know they don't. They won't like that I said that. But yeah, Cal. I thought he was.
It's like mistaking Georgia for Georgia Tech. That doesn't go over well either.
I must have thought he was smarter and went to Stanford. Although,
are you familiar with clean, old-fashioned hate?
Cal might not. Yeah, I remember Syracuse, Georgetown. I remember that vaguely. But he's a really good player, and you got 2 veteran guards. You got size inside, and you got depth. You know, Wilkins is a tremendous freshman. They just got a really good basketball team.
And a guy like Surreal on the inside, he doesn't try to do more than he can do.
No, he reminds me of Syracuse's William Kiles. He's just rebounds, block shots, and dunks it, which that's pretty good to be able to do that.
Kyle's had a nice game tonight in the Orange. Big win over Tennessee.
Kyles is one of the hardest playing players I've ever seen at any position.
Clock winding down on Wiggins, and he banks it into the buzzer.
Didn't call it, but it still counts.
Again, he made that shot, but if those are the type of shots you're going to be forced to take, you're not going to shoot a very high percentage.
2 more for Blue Kane. He's been the man so far in the second half.
Well, he's coming off those screens and nobody's getting in front of him.
Wiggins has it poked away from behind. Surreal the steal. Kane ahead. Down the lane. Santo Surreal. Timeout for have been dunks. One of the reasons he shoots a pretty high percentage.
Well, Georgia is now shooting 19 for 25 from 2-point range in this game.
What can Florida State do to change that?
Well, they got to stop turning the ball over for one thing.
And get back on defense and don't let them have fast break opportunities. That would help. It would slow them down a little bit. It's not going to stop them. Georgia's a really good basketball team, I think. They're going to win a lot of games this year.
McCray now with 10 points. Kane for 3.
That's the one thing they haven't done well today.
Shooting below 25% from deep. McCray to the basket, finishes with the left.
Boy, McCray has shown us time and time again that he can get in there and finish at the basket.
When the big guy's not back, you can
Yeah,
finish.
when he's not there.
10 different Bulldogs have scored. Luke Kane, strong start in the second half. This is Smurf Millender for 3.
That's good ball movement. You move the defense around. You get the open 3. He takes his time and he knocks it down.
He's a gamer. He lost a tooth diving for a loose ball in the Georgia Tech game. Came back in the game. Get a hand on that ball. Bailey ahead for Kane. Scoop it in. 26-point lead on the road for the Georgia Bulldogs. Muhammad spins. And we'll get to the line. Surreal picks up his 3rd foul.
Luke Kane is always getting down the court.
Georgia cruising. The white color signals the cancer survivor. Yellow that AJ was wearing represents the family that he's lost. Jim Valvano, all these years later, Jim Boeheim still continues to leave his legacy on the sport as we pursue a cure for this disease.
Well, he's one of the few that can keep going. He's just eternal. And, you know, Jimmy set the example for all of us. And coaches around the country get together every year and coach versus cancer events and golf tournaments and raise millions of dollars. So Jimmy started that all, and we all should be involved in it.
Justin Abson adds 2 more for Georgia. A lot of easy points tonight for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, too many.
That's been the key. That's been the key. They've been getting easier baskets.
Things don't get easier for Florida State moving forward. Their next game against Kelvin Sampson's Houston Cougars. Look out. Oh, Wilkins couldn't tip it in, but right there was Cannon Catchings.
And that's a perfect example of what's been going on here. Cannon Catchings beat the rest of the Seminoles down the court for that tip.
Yeah, the one thing you have to do when you're an underdog and fighting a scram, you have to get back. You can't get layups, and they're getting layups now.
Steen does tie up Catchings, but it will be Florida State ball.
That's a very fortunate tie-up because they had another 4-on-3 break.
All day.
Dylan James coming back into the game for Georgia, replacing Catchings.
Georgia's done a really nice job pressuring the basketball.
Really good.
Exhibit Z right there.
Well, they mix it up just enough. There's a little trap here or there, some full court pressure. Here comes from behind, gets the steal.
That time, he's trying to go too fast.
A little bit.
You know, you got to catch the ball first and then start dribbling.
It was a 19-point game at halftime. Georgia went up by 21 with the first bucket of the second half. They've been up by at least 20 ever since.
Dominant game.
Wiggins. Tough two inside.
See, I think Wiggins can be effective inside, but he hangs out around the three-point line. Over 60% of his field goal attempts are threes, and I know they want him to shoot threes, but you know, they could use a little bit more inside offense.
I don't think they ever thought at Clemson that he did as much as he could do. What you're talking about, get inside, rebound, get something around the basket, tends to hang on the perimeter and shoot threes, which he can make. But he can do that too. He can get inside too.
Somerville back to the bench with 4 fouls. Nice ball movement, sets up Millender for 3 more.
Now they're making threes and they're unstoppable then.
Scary good. Whoa.
Well, the bonus there is they don't get a fast break. You know, it's been very frustrating. The Georgia defense has been smothering.
Just trying to enjoy your Sour Patch Kids in the front row, and you got projectiles coming at you.
Yeah, that's the risk of sitting in the front row.
You think the rest of the SEC realizes what this Georgia team can be as they head into conference play?
I don't think there's anybody in the SEC afraid of them, but they're going to respect them. The SEC is good again this year. I mean, it's been good ever since NIL came in. They stepped right up right away, went to the forefront, and have spent money, and that's why they're where they're at. And I think the ACC's caught up a little bit. Got a little ways to go.
Miles attacking multiple defenders, unable to convert. Ross bumped by McCray.
But Jim, this is what you're talking about. Last year's the ACC SEC challenge is 14-2 in favor of the SEC, but outside of the challenge during the regular season, the SEC was 16-2.
Yeah, they overwhelmed everybody. They were the best conference. It was clear. It wasn't close, but they're right there again this year.
They haven't been as successful in the non-conference this year, but
Not
they're
quite.
still very strong.
They're still strong. The ACC did use more resources, and I think some new coaches came in, got some resources at Miami, Virginia. I think that made a difference, and I think the league is much better than it has been the last couple of years.
Well, it'd be hard for the SEC to be any better than they were last year.
No, they're going to drop. You have to drop a little bit.
7 teams in the Sweet 16,
Yeah.
13 in the dance.
Yeah, they'll probably only get 10 or 11 in this year, but
Jim,
that's what they're going to do.
This may be a hard question for you to answer, but I want to see what you think.
There's no hard questions anymore.
There's been a lot of talk, I think reasonably so, about all the institutional memory and historic success that veteran coaches had in the ACC who left. Coach K, Roy Williams, Tony Bennett, Leonard Hamilton right here at Florida State, yourself.
It's about money now, Evan. It's not about the older coaches.
So you think that's overrated?
That's overrated. I mean, John Schreier's done a great job at Duke. I mean, they have great players, and they have great resources to help him. So I don't see any fall off there, and he's a young coach. I think that Virginia spent a lot more money this year in the transfer portal, and they're much better. The same with Miami. So I think it unfortunately comes down to money in college basketball. You have to face the fact. That's what it's about, and until it's under control, the teams that spend the most are going to win.
3 more for Blue Kane. He's got 14 in the game, most of them here since halftime.
You're right, Jim. When they're making threes, they're scary.
Really scary.
Steen denied. McCray goes down. Numbers for the Bulldogs.
Well, that was a nice job by Florida State getting back, forcing them to pull the ball out.
Wilkinson. Deflected to the perimeter, and Georgia has a second chance. And gives it away.
That's a couple of times now they've thrown it just a little bit too high for Absent.
Just the 9th Georgia turnover. Florida State only has 8 turnovers, and yet they're still down by 32.
These are really good players.
Middle name is Blue, named after Duke's colors. His father, Chris, played golf at Duke. Another block for Georgia here. The Bulldogs come at you in waves, don't they? Wilkinson, tough scoop shot, won't go. The other thing about Kane, he was originally committed to Josh Pastner at Georgia Tech. But then Pastner was let go, reopened everything up, went to Mike White at Georgia.
Did he just try to dribble through 14 people there?
Yes, he did.
I think it was 13, but you got the right idea. What would your message be to him if you pulled him on
Come
the
have
bench?
a seat.
So that's what's called a buzzer play.
Yes.
That play happens, and the next dead ball, there's a buzzer,
As
and
soon
the guy
as
comes out.
possible. As soon as possible.
Kane connects with Wilkinson. 3 more.
And another
16.
assist for Kane. I'm telling you, when Wilkinson takes his time out there and gets set, he's a dead-eye three-point shooter.
Georgia over 80 with still half of a half to play.
It's starting to get away from Florida State here. Maybe more than just started.
Yeah.
I think it started a while ago, but it's definitely going now.
But now they're not really doing anything on offense. Just running down and shooting the ball unless you're going to make the shots. And Georgia suddenly is making shots. They're making threes. I mean, they've been dominant in fast break points. They've been dominant in the lane. They've been dunking the ball, and now they're shooting threes.
One thing when you're starting,
One sec, Jim. 3rd annual ACC SEC Women's Basketball Challenge begins Wednesday. Auburn at the Dome against Syracuse, 5 Eastern here on ACC Network. And Thursday night, Arkansas SMU, 7 Eastern. Both games also on the all-new ESPN app. Now, where were you?
I think one thing that happens when you're losing, you're giving other guys a chance. You're getting beat. Let's play somebody else. But sometimes some of those guys really aren't.
There's a reason they're not playing.
There's a good reason they're not playing, but you know you want to try to play them because you're obviously getting beat real bad. So you try them, but that doesn't necessarily help the team.
McCray bucket snaps a 13-0 Georgia run as we tick into the 4th quarter of this basketball game.
And McCray has 16 in the game now, Evan.
He can get to the basket.
Yes, he can.
Now there is a really hard shot, and he feels his rhythm now.
I think he generally feels his rhythm. I don't think he has any problem with that.
He's got 21. Wiggins, quick fire. That'll go. I beg your pardon, that's the song from the corner.
The song is a pretty good three-point shooter.
Dan, back to what you said about McCray, 16 points, but he's got just 1 assist. And he needs to be the playmaker to make others better like that. Kareem Stagg with a one-handed stuff.
Well, to be fair with McCray, a lot of his passes have gone to guys that have missed shots, too. So
That's true. To get an assist, the teammate has to make a basket.
somebody has to make one.
There's a catch.
He's good at getting the basket, especially when the big guy's out now.
Steal for Swinton. AJ coast to coast for 2.
Well, Swinton is a very athletic player.
Both teams have made their last 4 shots. Georgia for the night shooting 59%. In the second half, they're shooting 68%. Wilkinson, another nice dish, and Kareem Stagg with another easy dunk. 6th dunk of the night for the Georgia Bulldogs.
They've been able to beat that Seminole defense out front and get whatever they want.
Alir Malouk dishes to Swinton. He gets 2 more.
So it appears that for both teams, defense has suddenly become optional.
And you're almost 40 down. It's hard.
Another 3 for Georgia, and Blue Cane now has 17 points. Georgia might get to 120 again at this rate.
But we got 7 minutes left to go in the game. They already got 93.
Scored 123 on Saturday. We got free throws for Florida State when we come back, but Georgia is absolutely dominating, taking everything that they want here in Tallahassee. 19 points for the Orange in their home win over Tennessee. And this balanced performance from the Georgia Bulldogs is going to add another win to the SEC's column. Now, Georgia was 17 down with 7 minutes to go 2 years ago and won. Florida State down a little bit more.
They're not winning tonight. Georgia's really been impressive. A lot of guys, a lot of different contributors, but really 2 really good guards and a big guy inside.
How about this? They're just relentless.
Yeah.
Catchings ends up with 2 more.
They just keep coming at you.
But once you don't get that first defensive rebound, it's awful hard when there are big guys grabbing at it.
Somerville in and out. Good hustle on the rebound from McGee. He's coming off a 21-point game, his best offensive performance of the season, and he's been exceptionally quiet here tonight.
His job is to shoot threes, and he just hadn't had the opportunity tonight. He's been in a bit of foul trouble, and that hadn't helped him.
Foul against Surreal on the rebound action. The numbers.
Talking about Georgia, they're going to get to that average, and their fast break points a little bit behind, but not by much, and their bench has really produced. They've got those 8 blocked shots, and look at their inside scoring. I mean, this has been a dominant performance by a very good team.
And a nice dominant performance to have when you have the next 10 days off.
Yeah.
Their next game 11 days from now against Wes Miller's Cincinnati Bearcats in Atlanta.
Who struggled a little bit this year. So Georgia's in a great position.
Alir Malouk, welcome to the score sheet. Steal in the backcourt. Somerville knocks down the 3. And Mike White wants a timeout. First ACC game on December 30th in Chapel Hill at the Dean Smith Center.
It's not the best place to start.
Jim, what would your advice be to Luke Laux after what he has endured Friday against Texas A&M and here tonight against Georgia?
Well, you try to go back and have good practices. That's all you can do. And especially with Houston coming up, it's just, you just don't get out of those kind of games. They're teams that punish you. And, you know, it's one thing to lose. You can lose to a lot of teams, but teams like Georgia and Texas A&M, they punish you. Houston, they just keep coming at you. And when you're not really talented enough, they just beat the heck out of you.
Heck of a block from Luke.
And the other thing to consider is Luke Laux has 6 transfers and 4 freshmen. And here's Swinton to show you some of that athletic ability.
Bringing some energy.
They're trying to play a very fast style with guys who are not used to playing a fast style. It's going to be an adjustment period.
It's not easy. It's not easy to try to do. Theoretically, playing fast is fine, but here's Coach Hamilton sitting up there. I don't think he gave up 95 points too many times in this building. Different coach, half defensive coach, defensive minded, and he looks happy because, as he said today, I'm really happy. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not even thinking about basketball some days.
He had a carefree spirit to shoot around today when we got to chat with him.
And as soon as you retire, you look 10 years younger. Not me, but Leonard Hamilton looks 10 years younger.
Well, but just because you've had a lack of success against 2 pretty good teams is no reason to abandon your plan.
No. It's just when you play fast, you're playing into the teams like Georgia that play fast and they're better. You know, I mean, theoretically, when you're not as talented, you normally play slower to try to slow them down. But they want to play fast, and that's good for the program's future, and that's what he's looking for.
Smurf Millender floats in 2 more.
You know, the other thing that I've seen from Georgia today is their guards really do a nice job finishing at the basket.
Sure do.
Yeah, they're good guards. They finish, they can make shots, they make plays, they defend the ball.
And there's a lot of them.
Well, the 2 that are the most impressive are, obviously Luke and Wilkinson. They're really high-level players. I mean, Wilkinson proved that last year at Cal.
Yeah,
when he was playing.
Smurf Millender hit a game-winning shot against Xavier in Charleston. He's double figures again tonight.
Yeah. They're going to be up and down, too, a little bit because they play fast and take a lot of threes. So they have a bad shooting game. They're going to have some problems in that game. Clemson had a really good win against Georgia. They came back and won right at the end. So that was a good win for Clemson.
But one of the other problems for Florida State tonight, they just simply, as hard as Steen plays, they simply do not have the inside muscle against these great big guys from Georgia.
He plays hard, but he's just not big and strong enough to play against these guys. And he's going to see bigger and stronger guys as he goes throughout the year.
That was one of the things about Leonard Hamilton teams. He seemed to have 8 7-footers hanging out on the bench.
He had a surplus of big guys. Leonard Hamilton's one of the best recruiters I've ever seen. He recruited wherever he went, whether he was here, whether he was at Miami, whether he was at Oklahoma State, wherever he coached, he worked and mostly outworked people. He recruited year-round. He hated the rules when they limited recruiting because Leonard said, "I'm going to work." And Leonard would go out every day if he could.
Might be recruiting right now.
Well, he recruited as good as anybody.
Was there a particular player, too, that you were going up against him for?
We didn't recruit against him a lot because he recruited more southern guys than we did. But, there he is. 2 old guys right there, huh? How about that?
It must have been pregame because you both wouldn't have been smiling like that postgame.
No, I'm sure it probably wasn't even a game. It was probably a charity function or something. We had a great rivalry, but we never lost our friendship.
Kobe McGee for 3.
See, McGee, now he's one of those transfers. He's from Drexel. And so this coming here to Florida State is really a step up. And he shot more than 40% from 3-point range at Drexel, and he hadn't been quite that good yet at Florida State.
Well, they're going to get better.
Yes.
As much as they're getting beat badly here tonight, they played Florida tough. So, you have to think they're going to get better, and they're going to have an opportunity to get better in the next few weeks. It's early. It's just the basketball season is just starting right now.
Georgia has reached 100 points for the 4th time in 9 games this season. There's still 3 minutes to play. Martin Somerville had a tough shooting night, now just 2 for 7, but now with 8 points.
Now, when you're using so many new guys and guys who are stepping up to a different level, it's going to take you a while to get everything straightened out.
We got 2. Have you Googled Kurt Signetti?
No, who's he?
Google him.
Is he saying something different than me?
Well, he's got an undefeated team too, with a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback and Fernando Mendoza.
Well, I mean, Indiana, great coach.
Now that's something
coach.
I didn't think we would see tonight. Is a shot clock violation.
No, I didn't either. But I don't see. I love Indiana. I love what the coach has done there, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I don't see them playing with Ohio State. I hope I'm wrong because I like Indiana. I'd like to see it happen. Ohio State is just a monster team, I think.
They played well this past weekend in the Big House.
But the important thing is to get that playoff over with so we can start concentrating on basketball.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about football.
Justin Bailey just became the 11th different Bulldog to score in this game. They are deep, they are big, they are fierce.
When Bailey, he's a guard who comes off the bench. He's like their 3rd or 4th guard, but he's an excellent three-point shooter.
And Georgia's made 11 more threes tonight, up to 37% for the game, 11 for 30.
Yeah, they started slow too. They really come on.
Well, one of the reasons their offense has really exploded is because they've made 3.
Yeah.
They continue to do all the stuff they were doing before, but they've made 3.
Jaden Newell and Brandon Klatsky, the 12th and 13th men into the game for Georgia.
They're playing zone too, just to kind of slow it down a little bit at the end here and not get crazy.
McGee, skyscraping rebound for Kareem Stagg. And in transition, good block from behind, and the dunk rattles in. Does that count as a dunk?
I think it does.
No, bounced up in the air. Another block.
Boy, Wilkins is just, I mean, he is so quick and long and runs.
You know, it's a shame, but he's a guy that's going to be a good player if he's just patient and keeps working. He's going to be good. There's freshmen like that aren't quite ready, but they can be really good. And he can be really good if he's just patient.
By the way, the official stats called that a layup, not a dunk.
It was not a
for
dunk.
Newell. He was attempting to dunk it, though.
Yes, he was. I can attempt to dunk right now, too, but it's not mean I'm going to do it.
Well, if it goes in and you're attempting to dunk it, don't do that, though, Jim. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
No, I would not even attempt it unless I had a chair, a big chair.
Yeah, but then you'd have to come down.
Yeah, that's true. That's not going to work either. Nice pass.
Free throws coming for Jaden Newell, Destin, Florida native. Was a walk-on originally, now on scholarship for Mike White at Georgia.
And one of the things we continue to see from Georgia, we've seen it all night long, is they really share the basketball well.
Yeah, they do.
They're well coached. They've got good players, and they've got size. They've got shooters. They've got ball handling. They get after you defensively. They change up their defense. That's going to give some teams problems. And they come at you with different guys. They got a lot of them. I couldn't coach 12 guys, but Mike White can, and he's doing a great job with it.
And they're not far away from being 9-0. Their only loss came in overtime in the final of the Charleston Classic against the Clemson Tigers.
Well, Clemson has some bigger bodies.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, as they get into SEC play, I think that's a problem that they're going to have to solve because those guys have big bodies.
Shot clock is off. Mike White slows down the break, and it looks like the final margin will be 34.
Could have probably been worse, so I guess he Gotta let that go.
First home loss for Luke Laux as the head coach of the Seminoles. And the Georgia